Very good morning, children, and this is Satish Kumar, Faculty of Science, DAB, RTPP, Karapa. Our principal is Professor. Already we started the lesson 1, that's a cell basic unit of life. So let's make a quick recapitulation. So for the first time, the word cell was used by a scientist, that's Robert Hooke, and he called that as a cell, and which means little room. And later, the scientist Felix Fontana and Robert Brown. Felix Fontana first observed a nucleus. Okay, but later Robert Brown he made a very massive experimentation on many cells, and he concluded that nucleus as a very important structure in the cell. So the credit of discovery of a nucleus goes to Robert Brown. Okay, the next when you take here these two, bigger onion and small onion, generally we imagine that bigger onion contains big cells and a small onion contains small cells, but that is totally wrong. Here both the onions contain the same cells, but why they are big and small means in case of big onion we can find a large number of cells, and in a small one we can find a less number. Is that clear? And then here this is, what is this? It is onion peel, and when now we observe this onion peel, we can find some brick-like structures. What are they? They are said to be the cell, and almost all the cells are having same size and shapes, right? And inside we can find some dark stained body. Okay, and what is that? That's a nucleus. Very good. And now, and the cell organelles. So when now we observe the cell, so inside the cell it is a plant cell, and inside the cell we can find in the middle a large bag-like structure. This is called as a vacuole, and due to means of this vacuole, the nucleus, see here the nucleus is pushed to one side, right? So that's the reason why the nucleus is at one corner in case of a plant cell, but in case of animal cell the vacuole is totally absent, and so nucleus will be in the middle, right? And then here we can find some green colored structures, chloroplast. The next so here we can find a mitochondria, then say this Golgi vesicles or Golgi bodies, the next ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, plastates, all the things, right? Now let's come to the lesson. What is this? Yeah, very good. It is amoeba. This is an example for single-celled animal. Why we call this as a single-celled animal means this animal is completely made up of only one cell. Now you can find some other like Paramecium, then Chlamydomonas, Spirogera. All these things are made up of single cell, and so we call them as single-celled organisms or unicellular organisms. Uni means a single, right? So even though it is made up of single cell, all the activities are carried out by the same cell. Okay, and if we carefully observe this amoeba, we can find, see here, some tube-like structures. Now, what are these? These are said to be pseudopodia. Pseudo means a false, and podia means a feet. That means these are not real feet. Depending upon the need, see the number of pseudopodia can be increased or decreased. Okay, that's why whatever the shape you can find now, the same shape cannot be seen after some time in the same animal. Okay, that's why we consider this animal as an irregular animal, right? And what is the use of this pseudopodia? Yeah, pseudopodia are mainly useful for motion, useful for we can say motion, and the next one, food collection. Food collection. Okay, that means like mouth. With the help of mouth, with the help of hands, we take the food and put that food into our mouth. In the same way, with the help of the pseudopodia, it captures the food and put that into the body. Okay, and here we can find one more structure, food vacuole. This food vacuole is useful for digesting the food material. Digesting means converting large molecules of food into small components, right? And here we can find the contractile vacuole. This contractile vacuole is mainly responsible for removing the waste materials like excess water and then excess nitrogenous waste, like these substances, to outside, right? And in the middle we can find a very dark colored structure. What is that? That's nucleus, and this nucleus will will control all these activities and also help in reproduction, like this. Okay, so even though the animal is made up of single cell, this single cell is able to carry out all the functions that can be seen in a multicellular animal. Clear? Now, what is this? TS of dicot stem. TS. Don't think that a TS means Telangana state, right? So TS means transverse section. Have you seen your mother making chips from potato chips? So when she is swiping over the blade, the potato can be cut into small slices, right? So just like that, those slices, that is called as a TS, transverse section. So this is a TS of a dicot stem, that is a tridax. Tridax, and in Telugu we call that as a gaddi chamanti, right? So when why we are observing this means, this is an example for multicellular structure. So already we studied about single celled structure amoeba, and now this is multicellular. If you carefully observe this, can you see that it has only one cell? No, it has many cells, and which are available in different sizes, shapes, like this, right? Now all these cells can be broadly divided into four types. So when now you take the outermost layer, here this layer is made up of special type of cells, and they come under group A cells. Group A cells. So as they are present outside, what is their main function? Means they are mainly responsible for giving a shape, to this structure, and at the same time they give protection. They give protection to the inner parts. So group A cells are responsible for giving a shape and a protection. Shape and a protection. Clear? And then the next one, just below this group A cells, we can find a very small cells, right? Have you seen? These cells come under the group, that's a B, group B cells. So where we can find them means, we can find them in the plant parts which are green in color. You know which parts are green in color in a plant body? Yeah, very good. Leaves, and then some birds, And if you take a small plants, young plants, even stem is green in color, right? So as these are green in color, so these cells mainly takes part in photosynthesis, and they help in the food synthesis. Food synthesis means they prepare the food. You know how we are getting our food materials? Daily we are taking rice, vegetables, fruits, all these things. We are getting food from where? Yeah, very good, plants. And how the plants are able to prepare means by a process called photosynthesis. And this process is carried out by these group B cells. Clear? And then the next one, here below this we can find some round structures. Can you see? Yeah, these cells come under group C. Group C. And what is the use of these cells? Means they are mainly useful to carry two things, that is the food and the water, from one place to another place in the plant body. In the plant body, you know, in a plant body we can find the roots. What is the use of roots? Yeah, they absorb water and supply that water to other body parts. But how it is possible means because of group C cells. And in the same way, food is also supplied from leaves to all the body parts with the help of this group C cells. Right? And then the last one, D. So here, if we observe in the middle, we can find some light structure. So all this is that these cells come under group D cells. Group D cells. And when you take a matured stem, means a fully grown stem, these cells are empty. These cells are empty. Empty means nothing. So why they are empty? Means so they are mainly responsible to store food and water. Food and water. Clear? So in this way, in this we can find four types of cells, and these four types of cells are having different sizes, different shapes, and at the same time they carry out different types of functions. Is that clear? Yeah. Now let's go to the next topic. Yeah. What is this? This is a smooth muscle. Smooth muscle. It is a kind of muscle can be seen in our body. Okay, and if you carefully observe these cells are having a shape. What do you call this shape? We call that as a spindle shape. Means they have a at the corners they are sharp, and in the middle they are broad. So this shape can be called as a spindle shape. So these cells are a spindle in shape, and when you take another one, that is skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle. Here, skeletal muscle. Inside this, we can find many fibers like this, and across we can find some lines, and these lines can be called as striations. Okay, that's why we call this as a striated muscle or a stripped muscle. Right? Okay. Now, what is this? Means this is a bone cell. Bone cell means our bones are made up of these cells. And what is the shape of this bone cell? Yeah, star shape. And so we call that as a stellate. We call that as a stellate. So what is the shape? What's the shape of this bone cell? Means bone cell is having a stellate. Right? Stellate means a star shape. And here at the base you can find a very long cell. What is this? Yeah, this is called a neuron or a nerve cell. Neuron or a nerve cell, and even it is also having the same shape, star shape, and that's why we can consider this as a stellate shape. Stellate shape. And then what are these? Yeah, red colored cells. These are called red blood corpuscles or RBC, and these RBC are having a biconvex shape. Biconvex. That means they are pressed on both the sides. That means from upper side and lower side they are pressed, and so we call that shape as a biconvex shape. And here at the base you can find different types of cells, and all these cells come under WBC, which means white blood corpuscles. But when we observe this WBC, all the cells are not having the same shape and the sizes. Okay, that's why we can consider them as irregular cells. Irregular cells. So, by observing all these cells, we can say that the cells are having different types of sizes and shapes. Now, here in your textbook, you can find a table, and in this table you can find some information like say serial number, then name of the cell, shape of the cell, and the parts observed in the cell, right? So what is the first one? That is RBC, and already we studied what is the shape of RBC. That is a biconcave, and which parts you can find inside this means you can find only two parts, around the cell membrane, and inside we can find a fluid, that is a cytoplasm. Okay, then the next one, muscle cell. Muscle cell is having a spindle shape, and which parts? Say here in case of a muscle we can find a cell membrane, and inside you can find a cytoplasm, and in the middle we can find a nucleus. So what are the parts you can find inside the muscle cell? Means three: cell membrane, nucleus, and the cytoplasm. And then nerve cell. Even in a nerve cell also we can find so just see, in nerve cell we can find see, this is cell membrane, and inside we can find a jelly like substance called cytoplasm, and here in the center, see, what is this? Nucleus, and of course we can find some dots, and these dots are the ribosomes. Okay, and what's the next one? The next one, bone cell. In a bone cell also we can find the shape. What is the shape? Stellate, and we can find cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. Okay, and the last one, WBC. What is the shape of them? No, they don't have any proper shape, and so we can say irregular, and so we can find the part like a cell membrane around the cell, then inside a fluid called cytoplasm. Yeah, here we can find a nucleus and some dots, and we call these dots as granules. Clear? So when now we observe this table, we can clearly observe that all the cells are not having the same shape, okay, and at the same time they don't have same parts. They have different parts inside them. Clear? Now come to this. What is this? Yeah, this is the bacteria, which is to be the smallest cell. And what is this? Yeah, here at the base you can find one structure, one egg. This is ostrich egg. Ostrich egg. You know, have you seen this? Now, where you can find them? They're in mostly deserts, right? So it's a kind of bird, and this bird lays the egg, and that is said to be the largest single cell in animal kingdom. Largest single cell. So here, when why we're talking about this means, see, these two are the cells, but these two cells are not having a same size. They have different sizes. Some are small and some are big, some are long and some are short, like this. So when you take this bacteria is having the shape, size of 0.1 to 0.1 to 0.5 0.5 micrometers, right? 0.1 to 0.5 micrometers. And when you take this ostrich egg, this is having 17 to 18 centimeters. So here you can find normal eggs. Can you see them? You can compare what is the size of a normal egg and ostrich egg. Normal egg, ostrich egg, right? So this ostrich is having the size of 17 to 18 centimeters. So this is to be the largest cell. Okay, and even in our body, when you take this liver and kidney, the liver cell and the kidney cell is also having the size of that is 20 to 30 micrometers. 20 to 30 micrometers. And when you take neuron, for example, or a nerve cell, that is said to be the longest cell. Nerve cell is said to be longest cell. That means it is having the size that is 90 to 100 centimeters. 90 to 100 centimeters. It is very, very long in nature. Why it is long in nature means to carry the messages from one part to another part, especially from brain to body parts, and again body parts to brain, like this. Okay, and now come to this. Here in your textbook you can find a table, and in this table you can find some measurements. So this is 1 meter. You know about them. 1 meter. 1 meter can be divided into 100 centimeters, and each centimeter can be again divided into 10 millimeters, and you can find them in your scale also, right? And you know, you are very, very familiar about meter and centimeter, but how the size and the shape of how the size of microorganisms can be measured means with some other units. Here 1 millimeter is divided into 100 parts, that is micrometers. Micrometers. You know, millimeter is very, very small. That is again divided into 100 times. So each one can be called as micrometer, and again each micrometer can be divided into 1000 parts. 1000 parts. And each part can be called as nanometers. Nanometers. So the size of the organisms or the size of the cells can be measured mostly by using all these structures. That is centimeters, millimeters, micrometers, and nanometers. Mostly microorganisms can be measured with the help of these two units. Right? Is that clear, children? And from this, what we can say means all the cells which can be seen in all the living organisms that not having the same size, same shape, and they're not same in number. So their size is changing, their shape is changing, and their number is also changing from organism to organism, and that's why the organisms are showing different functions. Is that clear, children? And with this, we conclude this topic. And here, one more thing, don't forget, what is this? Here, this is a hand sanitizer, and this is mask, and this is gloves, and this is soap and water, or we can say hand wash, right? And why we need to use all these things means, so to protect ourselves from the very, very dangerous disease, that is coronavirus. And so I request all the students, stay home and stay safe. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Thank you.